Hey folks, this is Jeff for Disney with JTT. I want to talk about two specific subjects that will affect modern women: permanent alimony and no-fault divorce. First, let's start off with permanent alimony, but let's understand what alimony is. Let's pull out the meaning of alimony on my laptop right here. Okay. And see what it says right here was the meaning of alimony. Wait for the computer, the laptop to give me the right information. And here we go. Alimony. Financial support that a person is ordered by the court to give their spouse during separation or following divorce. Like for example, he is said to pay $300,000 alimony to his first wife. Ouch. And like I said, I imagine back then when it first did that, the alimony could be used, like say if the ex-wife is like a full-time housewife with no job. I imagine alimony help pay, for her bills, maybe like when she go back to school, like to a college or a trade. So that way it will help her to be more independent, so she can function on her own. And or it could be like they've been married for a long time. Like say they start in their 20s, married say about 30 years, they're both in their 50s, close to 60s, and the alimony is good for, just a short amount of time. I see like pluses, minuses. Like the pluses, like the guy's like a multimillionaire, yeah, he can afford it. The minus, if you're not a multimillionaire, you're just a regular working stiff, you're lucky you work close, if that, to six figures, close, under $100,000, you will feel the pinch of the alimony, no question about it. But now, if I go over here and find out what this here, Florida's gonna do, they gotta stop the permanent alimony. That got a lot of women freaking out. I think they passed some type of, I'm not sure it's law or something, to where permanent alimony is done. And like I said, a lot of women are not happy about it. Like I said, there are men, like I said, the only one who's really gonna benefit the most would be the guys who really can't afford it, because there are men who went to jail or committed suicide because they can't afford the alimony. They can't. They just cannot. See, here we go. Permanent alimony in Florida. And this is what it says here. Permanent alimony in Florida is only proper when evidence shows a permanent inability of the ex-spouse of becoming self-sustaining. Yeah, so like say if the ex-wife has like a physical problem, like she's definitely ill, handicapped, something like that, for example. Another one says if the marriage lasted more than 17 years. Okay, I didn't know that. 17 years, bears certain circumstances such as disability of the spouse or caring for a child. That's where child support come in. But, let's see, what else? I'll make sure I look at this correctly, though. Yeah, like I said, if I'm heard correctly, though, they might do away with that. Here we go. Yeah. This is where DeSantis might lose a lot of female voters over this here. And this is what it says here. This is from WNBC 6, South Florida. And this is what it says here, according to the headlines. DeSantis signed a controversial measure to overhaul permanent alimony. Okay, they didn't get rid of it, they just overhauled it. Okay, I was wrong. Here's what to know about the bill. I'm not gonna go super deep into this. A brief overview so you know what's going on. Oh yeah, like I said, this is gonna probably gonna force women to make sure if you're gonna marry somebody, marry it right. Ladies, you need to have the right mindset if you marry somebody. That's one. Two, be committed to the vows. If you can't find yourself to be committed to the vows, don't get married. In other words, though, unless your husband is physically abusive, maybe emotional, if he's had an addiction problem and not doing anything about it, or he's an adulterer, stay married. If you stay married or don't get married, don't be wasting both your times. Just saying. And this it says right here. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Friday, I forgot what day for him, signed a measure that will overhaul the state's alimony laws after 3 vetoes on similar bills and a decade of emotional clashes over the issue. And this is what it says, measure SB 1460 includes doing away what is known as permanent alimony. Yeah, so, oh, they are, well, time out. They are doing away with it. Oh boy. Like I said, Mr. DeSantis is going to lose some female voters here over this. DeSantis' approval came a year after he nixed a similar bill that sought to eliminate permanent alimony and set up a formula of alimony amounts based on the length of marriage. This is a real big change for alimony, for as far as alimony goes, says a family law attorney, Emily Phillips, adding that this is the largest change to alimony in decades. So what does this new measure mean for alimony laws in Florida? How's everything you need to know about this bill? Like I said, I'm gonna put this news link on this page here. And this one says here, what does this bill mean for people paying or receiving alimony? Okay, this one says right here. With eliminating permanent alimony, the measure will set up a process for ex-spouses who make alimony payments to seek modification to alimony agreements when they want to retire. So imagine, like say you're in your 60s, going to be 70s, he's not working. So how you gonna pay for alimony if you're not working? You know, now the guy's a multi-millionaire that I gotta see, like, her lawyers are gonna say, like, time out, this is worth about, the guy's worth a few $1,000,000. I think he can afford to squeeze some money out to me, you know. But as for everybody else, yeah, I can see where they're going with this here. It goes on to say, it will allow judges to reduce or terminate alimony, support, or maintenance payments after considering a number of factors, such as the age and health of the person who makes payments. That's a fact. Like I said, if the person don't make enough money, how do you expect them to make alimony payments? That's one. The customary retirement age of the person's occupation. The economic impact a reduction in alimony could have on recipient payments, and the motivation for the retirement is a likelihood to returning to work for the persons making the payments. Yeah, it's kind of sad that a person got to go back to work to keep up with the alimony payments, even though he should be enjoying his golden years. The only exception would be, like, say, if the person was like I mentioned before, unless the person was physically abusive to his ex-wife, had addiction, wasn't showing signs of going to do anything about it, or the guy was an adulterer who was a dog who would not keep it down, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, what else? The bill would set a 5-year limit of what is known as a rehabilitative alimony. Now, that's different. Under the plan, people married for less than 3 years will not be eligible for alimony payments. Like I said, there'd be a... In other words, you modern women who try to be slick, try to get the guy to get the bag, but if you marry for less than 3 years, you will not be eligible for alimony payments, just so you know. Yeah. And those who have been married for 20 years or longer will be eligible to receive payments for up to 75% of the term of the marriage. 75% of the term of the marriage. Okay, so payments received up to 7. Wow. That's something, though. The new law will also allow alimony payers to seek modifications if supportive relationship exists or has existed as involving ex-spouses in previous year. Chris argued that the provision is vague and could apply to temporary roommates who help alimony recipients covering living expenses over a short period of time. Yeah, I can see that. Like, this is not going to be clean or that. It's going to be pretty messy for a while. When did this alimony bill go into effect? Oh, shoot. It went in effect this past July 1st of this year. Oh, yeah. Like I said, this is not going to be a good year for women in Florida. Like I said, Mr. DeSantis lost a lot of female voters. I promise you that. Okay, I gotta try to wrap this up as fast as I can. How does this bill differ from past versions that have been vetoed? Okay, this is what it's going to say right here. Along with DeSantis' veto of the 2022 version, former Florida Governor Rick Scott twice vetoed similar bills. The issue spurred a near fracas outside Scott's office in 2016. So basically, it's a very, very controversial bill. And I know, like, a lot of female groups were like fighting tooth and nail for this here. This year, however, the proposal received a relatively little public pushback and got the blessing of the Florida Family Fairness and the Florida Bar's Family Law Section, which has fiercely clashed over the issue in the past. Well, that's a surprise. Supporters said it would codify into law a court decision in 1992 divorce case that judges use as a guidepost in making decisions about retirement. But as with previous versions, opponents reminded concern that the bill would apply to existing permanent alimony payments, which many ex-spouses accept in exchange for giving up other assets as part of the divorce settlement. So it'd be wiser for the former ex-spouses or the ex-husbands, like, what's this, going for the permanent alimony, just pick a nice big lump sum and see you can settle out like that, instead of dragging out and cost you more money down the line. Okay, final one, thank goodness, because it's going too long. Reaction to the bill. The approval drew an outcry from members of the... Folks, you guys see this for yourself. I'm not going to point to you, but when you see this, I want you to keep this in mind. Keep this name in mind. Okay, the approval drew an outcry from members of the, wait for it, the First Wives Advocacy Group, a coalition of mostly older women who receive permanent alimony and who assert that their lives would be upended without the payments. In other words, though, they're going to use their husband's money as a retirement fund? All I think of is this. These women must have never worked, period, and never went to school, and to work on their own. They depend on their husband's money, ex-husband's money, for living. If these women's like in their I'll be honest, the women's like in their late 50s to say 70s, and I can understand it. Women who are younger than 50, there's no excuse. Use the alimony money to go back to school, maybe college or trade school, get a good paying job, because women these days are becoming more highly educated. They start to outpace men. Get your degree, get a job, get paid. And be smart for the man to do that. You know what? Let me have it be successful. You make your own money, so that way I don't have to give you any more money. I make sure you make more money with me. And guys be okay with it. They're okay with women making more money for them, especially ex-wives. It's like, look, if you can make more money than me, I don't give you anything else. I will make sure you're more successful than me. And that'd be the smart move. But I digress. Okay, this is what I'll be here. On behalf of the thousands of women who our group represents, we are very disappointed in the governor's decision to sign the alimony reform bill. We believe by signing it, he has put older women in a situation which will cause financial devastation. This so-called party of family values had just contributed to erosion of the institution of marriage in Florida. Jan Killia, a 63-year-old Boca Raton woman who founded the group a decade ago, told the News Service of Florida in a text message. Okay, let me stop it right there. If I read this correctly, he contributed to the erosion of the institution of marriage. Okay, this is where I got to step in and say, hold up, hold up, hold up. No offense, but isn't marriages or relationship in general usually ended by women? In terms of marriages, I say about 70 to 80% of marriages or divorces are initiated by, guess what? Women. This is not me saying it. This is based on the public record. An overwhelming amount of divorces are initiated by women, up to 80%. If they have a college degree, it will go even higher. Mr. DeSantis is not the one eroding marriages. No, he's not. If anything, though, he try to keep it real and keep it honest, though. As for the older women, like say in the late 50s to the 70s, and I'll go a step further, women who have medical disabilities and other things like that, yes. The older women who in the late 50s to 70s who got medical disabilities, yes. Any women who in the mid 50s or younger, take that money they gives you, take the child support money I know you're gonna get from him, go back to school, earn your money. Or if the husband offered to help you become more successful than him, take the opportunity. Yes, he probably give you alimony money, but once you become more successful than him, the alimony money should stop. Because my feeling like if he make you more successful, where you can make your money, save your money, be more successful than him, why you need more of his money, especially make more than him? Simple as that. That was something. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. While it enlisted a tearful testimony for the members of the First Wives Group, the measure also spurred a passionate pleas from ex-spouses who said they had been forced to work long past their age. They wanted to retire because they were on the hook for alimony payments, like I mentioned earlier. Monica Bueller, chairman of Florida Family. Hold a sec. Oh, here we go. Florida Family Fairness, a group that has pushed doing away with the permanent alimony, praised for the approval by the bill. Florida Family Fairness is pleased with the Florida legislature and government DeSantis that passed a bill that ends permanent alimony and codifies in statute the right to retire for existing alimony payers. Bueller said in a statement, anything that adds clarity and ends permanent alimony is a win for Florida families. And think of it this way, though. Like, say you're in your, like, most guys will retire in their 60s, but they can't. They're on the hook for alimony payments. So, what does that sound like? If you're forced to work, even though you're at the age to retire, but you're forced to work because you're on the hook for alimony payments, isn't that some type of slavery? The same type of slavery that modern women said that men try to make them do while cooking and cleaning? Makes me kind of wonder. Okay, but I gotta read this last piece here because this has gotta be said here. And it says, how might approving this measure might affect DeSantis' presidential run? I'm not a political expert by a stretch, but it's gonna have an impact. A lot of women will not be voting for DeSantis for that. I promise you that. I imagine mostly older women especially. They're gonna be they're unhappy with Mr. DeSantis done. I'm gonna read this last bit and that should be it. DeSantis launched his 2024 presidential campaign on May 24th of this year. While many are in favor of the Florida governor's decision to back the controversial measure, some say his approval will make them rethink about selecting him come election day. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He, DeSantis, had just impoverished all the older women in Florida, and I know at least 3,000 women across the state of Florida are switching to Democrat, and we will campaign against him all the way forever. Camille, 5-ish, a militant Republican who received permanent, of course. So wait a time out. Camille, I think it's 5-ish, a militant Republican who receives permanent alimony. Okay, if she's a politician, then I don't hear it. She probably get money. Now, she's just like a person who supports a Republican or might switch to Democrat. Who knows? But this is about it, though. It's kind of sad, though. This is one of the reasons why they want to do away with permanent alimony. How you expect a man to retire and enjoy his golden years if he got to stay and work because he's on the hook for alimony because of permanent alimony? Like I said, one for the women's in the late 50s, in the 70s, and quite simply, and the guy's like a millionaire and all that stuff, yes, but how you expect a man who's like barely make like say over like 50 to maybe about $70,000-$80,000 a year, how you expect him to retire if you gotta keep on working? He can't. The man would die before he retires. But for some fair reason, the women who reserve his permanent alimony is okay. And it's going to be like, the moment he dies, they go for his pension. It'd be kind of funny if they do die, they put in the will, my ex-wife is not going to get my 401k. No, they're not. All the money's going back to the kids. Or even to the kids, going to friends or some organization. Yeah. Well, like I said, folks, what's your thoughts on this about the permanent alimony being done away with? Like I said, I'll post the links on there. It'd be like from Channel 6, NBC, Channel 6, South Florida. Might be other things in there too. But what are your thoughts about that, about permanent alimony? I still say that alimony should be used time, should be used to go back to school, learn a skill, maybe like through college, trade school. Make sure you be able to be on your own financially. And like I said, there's some husbands probably like take an opportunity to invest in wives. Like, you know what? Let me make it more successful for me, make more money for me, so that way I don't pay no more money. As far as the men would say, invest in your ex-wife, so that way it be no financial conflict down the line. Other than that, folks, what do you think about that? Please leave your comments down below. Until then, peace.